I'm your host, Dacey. Today we have a true diva out there making a difference. She is so personable. She's in music, art. She has her own podcast, theater. So much to talk about, so in such a short time. So please welcome this phenomenal diva out there making a difference, Krista Brown.
Yes.
Good morning, girl.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on the show. You are so full of life and Miss Energetic. Everywhere I see you, you always have that beautiful big smile.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about who you are today and a little bit of the things that you're involved in, because your list is a mile long. So first, let's tell the viewers, honey, who you are.
Sure.
Okay.
So my name is Krista Brown. I live and work in Lowell. Have a lot of roles right now. So by day I work for a nonprofit called EforAll.
Right.
E stands for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I
had Leanna on the show.
Oh, yeah, she's amazing.
She is amazing.
Yes. And I also recently started a nonprofit of my own called the Free Soil Arts Collective.
Right.
We just announced this year, so we're really new, but our mission is to really amplify, strengthen the voices of stories that don't get as much spotlight in the arts community.
Right.
I also have the Choice to Be Happy podcast, and love like speaking, acting, all of that stuff.
Right, and you MC a ton of events, which I always love to see your happy-go-lucky face. Are you from the area, Christa?
I'm from Haverhill originally.
Okay, so did you go to school in the area, or?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Haverhill, there until the 6th grade, and then moved around a lot, so had some time in Connecticut and Virginia.
Right.
And I've been back up in the area since 2012, 2013.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're married.
I have a boyfriend.
Okay, Sean, right?
Yes.
Okay, you bring him, God bless him, along to all these events too.
Yes.
I know, I missed you. Did you go to the event were you away for the CBA? Were you there?
Oh, yes, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I was looking for you that night
I
too.
know.
And Mill City Grows that I covered for the
Yes.
Z List, my other greatest idea there was, you weren't there that day? Well, you were, but you came late.
Yeah, so I was there for the beginning of the Mill City Grows event and helped with some of the program when that started speaking. Then went into the huge, like hundreds of people.
Right.
Yeah, so I saw some people, didn't see some people, but it was so big.
It was so big.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. So, and then I saw you at Annie. We'll give her a huge shout out. Owner of Humanity. She did a beautiful fashion show, and the proceeds went to CTI's Community Teamwork's suitability, which was a nice cause. So I covered that too.
Yes.
So at least, not only with the Dacey's Divas TV show, with the Z List, I get to cover a wide range of all you amazing people doing great things.
Yeah.
So you live in Lowell. So what made you get into the arts and the music? First, did you start your podcast? You've been doing that for a few years now, correct?
It's a little over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it that only?
Yeah.
Wow, you do a lot of PR, because I see it on Instagram a lot. A lot. Okay. What is a podcast if people don't know?
Yeah, so a podcast is really, I like to say, like audio storytelling.
Right.
So a lot of times when people are driving or they're at work, you can hear interviews, or sometimes I have some podcasts I listen to that are in the mystery realm. So it could be stories, it could be books.
Right.
Choice to Be Happy style is interviews. So I like to really stick with our theme of Choice to Be Happy and reach out to people who have a really compelling story about making the choice to be happy in their life.
Right.
So Annie was actually our first guest, and she's a magical story of making the choice to have her own boutique, but talks about like the pitfalls on the way.
The struggles and the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
So where do I get like your podcast? Do I turn on to a radio station, or do I just turn into you? How does that work?
Yeah, so podcasts are typically found online or apps on your phone.
Right.
So you can find Choice to Be Happy. If you have an iPhone, there's an Apple Podcast app. If you don't have that, you can go on SoundCloud.
Right. And you download all those apps. Right.
And also on iTunes.
Okay. Now, how long is your interview typically with anyone?
Typically around an hour, sometimes 45 minutes.
Yep.
We try to do the whole journey of like, because these are people who are now at a point of their life where they're really proud and can look back. Yeah. I like to get as much history as I can about where the dream first started, all the struggles they had going forward, and kind of like what they're looking to do next.
Right.
So depending on how long and how deep their story is, it can take around an hour.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, I love the name. Now, where did you come up with the Choice to Be Happy? It's probably you, 100%, but besides you, how did you come up with that name?
Yeah, so I think I was actually in college, or just graduated college, and I mean, you're at that weird age where you have all this crazy stuff happening and you feel pressure to get your life together and know what you want to do. Right. And it just came to me. I was like, I'm just gonna make a choice to be happy. Like,
Right.
in spite of all this going around me, I'm just gonna make a choice. So it really is about taking away this kind of like romantic view of positivity and like, oh, my life is fine, everything is great. It's like, no, sometimes you really have to talk to yourself and make a choice to choose happiness in spite of
Everything else.
everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's so phenomenal. Where'd you go to school?
It's called Longwood University, a small liberal arts college in Farmville, Virginia.
Okay.
I think they hosted the VP debate there.
Wow.
Yes, and studied theater there.
Wow.
Loved it. Loved it. Yeah.
Well, you are so theatrical.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, well, good for you. So let's get back to the podcast. So how many individuals do you think that you've had on in the year? Do you do it like every day? Do you do it every once a week? So
Yeah, I was doing it once a month, and I think I had maybe close to 10 individuals.
Wow.
And then we took a short break, but starting back up again this month.
Right. It's good to It's kind of good to rejuvenate.
Yes,
You
and
have to
really
regroup.
and really think about the stories you want out there.
Right.
Last year, I'd interviewed all women,
Yeah. Nice.
and kind of not really intentional, it just happened that way.
Right.
So it's something to think about, like going forward.
Right. Who were some of the women?
Yeah, so we had Annie Vong, Masada Jones, Anna Willard Grenier, who was actually, she was a runner in the Summer Olympics.
Oh,
and
wow.
she actually, her husband owns, I think it's CrossFit Merrimack, I
Yes,
believe.
yeah.
And a lot of chance encounters with people that we've been able to bring their stories to
That's
life,
nice.
which has been,
Great.
it's been real great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Now, do you bring them in, or you just get them on the air? Do you bring them into like a studio? Do you do it, or just
so
do you?
we're really mobile. So like
Yeah.
the first episode with Annie, I had my equipment and I go to them. So sometimes people are coming over to my apartment, or I'm going to where they are.
Oh, so you can just kick back, have a glass of
Yeah,
wine, and
yes.
relax and do it. So it's
Yes.
kind of informal. So
Yes.
good girl. Now, recently, you had the arts. Let's talk a little bit
Yes.
about that at MRT, and that looked so
Sure.
great.
Oh,
and I wish
thank
I knew
you.
sooner. I was so overbooked because I would have loved to come
Oh,
to the show and
thanks.
cover it. How did that go? It looked like it went well.
Yes.
Because
So
I saw the Facebook post, and I was like, oh, good.
yeah, we got lots of love. So the Free Soil Arts Collective was announced January of this year, and our fiscal agent is the Greater Lowell Community Foundation.
Which is great. I love Jay.
So
He's
great.
awesome. And Jennifer's now taking over.
They're amazing.
Yes.
And
Yep.
we had lots of support, lots of love, and the cast of our first show ever was Maritza Grooms, Masada Jones, Nachelle Gandia, and Kasaya Bascom. And it was called Hair Tales, Stories of Black Heritage.
Right.
So it was all documentary based off their true experiences, and a year in the making. So I did interviews with all the women, transcribed the audio, pieced together a script.
Wow, you did all on your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, Pete, you
Yeah.
have right here. She can help you right here do all this.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But we couldn't have done it without the stories. And I have to say, the women were so honest and it was so rich. So
Right.
there wasn't a lot of, it didn't take a long time, I'd say, for me to come up with the good content. It was there. It
Right.
just was the time to piece it together.
So how old are these women? Like, basically the same with the podcast. Are they a younger generation?
Yes.
Yes.
I think I have kind of found,
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
the younger generation knows more about the podcast
Yes.
than the older generation. Do you agree with that?
yeah, I think podcasts
Probably like
are way
30s, 40s the age, or maybe younger.
Yeah, looking at some of because nowadays you can look at your podcast and see behind like who's listening, where are they from,
Right.
And yeah, it really is like late mid 30s.
Right, right.
I think it's a fresh new way of getting information and getting your media,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, a lot of my friends who are older would more than likely rather watch something or
Right.
even listen to the radio or NPR
Right.
and not do a podcast. So it is kind of new.
And I think it's fabulous. So say you had that 2-hour commute and you're going into town, you're
Yeah.
on the train, and you're educating yourself.
Yes.
So when you're learning from people's stories, which is so phenomenal, and I know that a lot of younger women that I've had or on the show, or I have come in contact with either the show or the Z List, that they do listen to podcasts and they feel that they either health or fitness and what you're doing really educate them. So I think
Yes.
that's a great tool.
Yeah.
Now on your the arts, the founding, what were some of the stories? What did Marissa?
Oh, yes.
Grooms, right? She's with
Yes.
Boys and Girls Club. Or Girls Inc.
Girls Inc.
Yeah, she just got
Yes.
honored. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
I had covered her. Vanna Howard was on yesterday.
Oh, yes. Love Vanna.
Another diva. So she had covered. She was the MC for Lowell Women's Week.
Yes.
And I think she just got honored.
Yes.
Grooms. She got an honor.
Yes.
One of the Unsung Hero Awards.
Yes,
Yes. Or
yes.
Lowell Women's Week Awards. Yes.
Yes.
So what was her story?
Maritza was Amazing. So she talked a lot about when she was growing up, being biracial, never feeling Black enough, never feeling Puerto Rican enough, growing up in the city and wanting to feel like in with the city crowd, and then coming out to Lowell and feeling in with that crowd. So she talked really openly about just identity, and talked about working at Girls Inc. and how important it is for her to take what she's learned about self-love and confidence and pass it on to the teen program. So she really helped me to put in perspective, like the work that we were doing wasn't just for us, but also for the teens that were from Girls Inc. that were coming. It's also giving us a way to like pass forward what we've learned now that we're older. And she just has magical energy, everyone, like positive, infectious, like having her perspective was so valuable. And her story today, people are still talking about the stories that the women brought to the table. And it's been really nice to hear.
That is great. What was another inspirational story?
So we have Kasaya, who also owns Offbeat Compost.
What's where is that?
So she is, she has her own compost company, and she is at, she does pickup at your house. Or you can drop off your bucket of compost at Mill 5 on the weekends. And she's a one-woman show and has this magical business. To me, I'm so impressed by what she's doing. And she talked about how growing up being adopted by white parents and how that influenced her perception of beauty and her hair. And just her like life experiences being a child sometimes where you're the only Black person, and what does that feel like? And it's just incredible to me because all of the women all had things of their own. Like Maritza worked at Girls Inc. She's also part of the Kindred Project that's led by Masada. And then Kasaya has her own thing. Nashelle has her own thing. So they were all like boss, like diva women.
Boss ladies, entrepreneurs. And that's what you deal with for EforAll. You're all entrepreneurship. So you must get some great idea and great women coming in. And Leanna Cushy, she was amazing. Another, she's expecting another baby. That's great. And Savannah, her husband's a nice man. He runs all of the CMA. Mutual Alliance. So that's great. So on this, where did you get I love that hair. Like, where did you get that from? How did you get the name?
So it's weird because I was actually a part of another show in Boston at the time. We were rehearsing, and it was me and a couple other actors, just happened to be Black women. And we just started riffing about hair and singing all the old jingles from the commercials that we could remember. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is a great story. This is a great play. And it's something where, unless you've experienced it or have a friend who is Black and a woman, it may not be a world that you know anything about. So I reached out to all of these women and asked them,
good for you.
Hey, like, we have this idea, what do you want to do? And they were like, So that's how it really got started.
And you all, like, I try to look it up, because I wanted to research it before you came on the show. So you all just sat there. It's not like you were acting or doing anything. You just sit there, and did you interview each woman?
So it's technically like a staged reading. So the women, the whole time, we had music stands, we had binders, and it was all their words. So everything that the audience heard was from them.
Was that live, or did you rehearse any of this?
So we rehearsed quite a bit. The Repertory Theater was so great because we were able to use their rehearsal space. And we rehearsed for a few months leading up to it, once the script was finalized. And then we performed it we had 3 shows over 2 days at the Repertory Theater. And even though it was a reading, we tried to make it dynamic. So there was some mini blocking that we incorporated. But it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It looked it. Now, do the proceeds go to anything, or is it just what do the proceeds go to? Any charity event? Do they?
So we actually, so the Free Soul Arts Collective, we are a nonprofit organization. So having the Greater Lowell Community Foundation as our fiscal agent, we can take donations. So what we're trying to do is have all the proceeds from ticket sales really are supporting Free Soil expanding and growing, and really building a model that we see. I have dreams to have Free Soil Arts Collective in schools and bringing drama to areas that don't have it. And thinking about our next shows and like how we can support artists better.
Good for you, Krista.
Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good girl. Now, let's talk about EforAll. You're the manager there. What do you do there?
So
do you sleep?
I do not sleep.
I didn't think so.
So I'm the content manager. So really communications and marketing. So EforAll has about 7 sites currently. So we have...
they've gotten so big.
Yes, and we're growing. So we have Lowell and Lawrence, we have Lynn, we have the South Coast, we have a new site opening in Colorado soon. So really we're trying to make sure that we can really speak to the impact that we're making on entrepreneurs.
Right.
So a lot of my role is reaching out to alumni and asking them to tell me their story. Like, where was your business at before coming through the program?
Right.
Where are you at now? Entrepreneurs get 3 mentors each. So I also get to talk to mentors and ask them, how does it feel to give back? So it's like social media and marketing and really spreading the word. We just hired a director of marketing, so that's who I work with directly. And it's really storytelling at the root of it all.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it fun, is knowing that my role is really just having a great way of articulating what we're doing in creative ways.
You're such an intelligent woman. A lot of women have come your way, men too. What is a inspirational story you can share with us that you thought, oh, wow, like, I don't know, or, you know, what is something really positive, like, brought you, like, to tears and said, this one is amazing, you know, with what this person went through?
Yes, I mean, there's so many stories. So there's one woman who went through our South Coast program, and she has the Peyton Company, and it's like a holistic beauty, health, and wellness. And speaking with her on the phone, and one of her products is recently featured in British Vogue, which is like a huge deal.
That is. What was her product?
It was like this face moisturizer.
Really?
Like, yes.
Wow.
And huge. And we have lots of businesses in Lowell, like Purple Carrot, Powerhouse Juice, Suture Studio.
Leanna told me about a lot of them. Yeah.
Amazing.
Leanna,
And I think the big thing.
Purple Carrot's done wonderful.
Purple Carrot, I know. It's amazing.
Wonderful. It is.
And even I think about Mill City Groves is in the first cohort ever. And the really inspiring thing to me is just hearing all the stories of people who like took the leap. Like, they had an idea, they didn't know what to do, went through EforAll, got the support, got the mentorship, and now are like fully focused on their dream, doing what they want to do.
Right. And what I like is that they didn't just use the program, they followed through with it.
Yeah.
They followed through big way, and they put their heart. And then, you know, you invested in them, but they put their heart into it, which I like. Because sometimes you help people out and they might take it for granted. Do you agree?
Yes. And I think we really push on the alumni support. So the accelerator is technically 12 weeks, but it's followed by 9 months of support.
She was telling me that.
Yeah. And then after that, like, you're part of the EforAll family. So whether you're here in Lynn, whether you're part of the Spanish program in Lawrence, you can say like, oh, we're all EforAll, and they connect and they
work well together.
Yes, and they network. It's amazing.
That's great. You're on Boys and Girls Club? Let's talk about some of the boards that you're on.
I'm on the board of Girls Inc.
Okay, Girls Inc.
Just started.
Good.
And I think that might be the only official board that I'm currently on.
What were you with? I thought it was Boys and Girls, so maybe
that's
it was Girls. Okay. And now tell us a little bit about LTC, Lowell Telecommunications.
Oh my goodness. So I'm the news anchor for LTC.
Good girl.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have our Diane here. She's a fabulous news anchor here for Chelsea Telemedia. So have you started yet doing that?
Yeah, so the relaunch was about, I think maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
I've recorded 3 news segments so far.
Wow.
It's been so much fun.
Now, how long do you speak for? And do you go to different communities, or do they come into you? How does that work?
Oh, sure. So what I do currently is I have a script that kind of talks about the different segments that LTC has footage for already.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's just doing the sound bites, like the intros and the outros.
Right.
And then I do have the opportunity, like for the folk festival coming up, I have an opportunity to be on the ground interviewing people.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good mix of like in the studio, reading a teleprompter, and also like being out in the community and talking to people, which I think will be really fun.
And you love doing that.
I love talking to people.
Right.
So
you
much.
do.
Yes.
That's good, girl.
Yes.
So you'll like that.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about who is a role model for a woman in your life.
Okay.
Is there anyone that's special that
Yes.
stands out? Okay.
So when I first came to Lowell, my first job after college was working for the boot mills at the Industrial History Center as a museum teacher.
Oh,
yes.
That must have been interesting.
It was amazing. I was fresh with my BFA in theater.
Yep.
And was, the school groups come and you're just teaching them the history of Lowell. And my boss at the time was a woman named Cindy Vengroff, who really became like a mother figure for me. So.
How old was she?
She must have been in her like 50s or 60s.
60s at the
She's
time.
since retired, living it up in the Cape.
Yeah.
But she was a role model for me and really took me through like professionalism, like finding out what my passion was, and was one of the first people after that role to encourage me to apply to Girls Inc. as the outreach coordinator. So that role and her relationship really kind of inspired me to
strengthened you.
Yeah.
All
and
your
to have
talents.
Yes. I think a lot of people in the arts are a little concerned about how you can parlay a degree in like the arts or music or painting into like a job that might be more stable. And I was able to see that like theater, acting, talking to people is a valuable skill. And I think that role opened me up to so much more opportunities.
Do you sing?
I think I do.
Well, I'm sure you do.
I need practice. I will sing if I need to.
Right.
Yes.
If you had a magic wand, what would you wish for the young women out there in this type of an environment?
I wish women knew the power of their gut.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
And how to kind of ignore naysayers and even your own naysaying that you do to yourself. I think a lot of times when I think about being younger, I was just consumed with thoughts of what other people were thinking. And I wish I could talk to myself
I think we all live like that, right?
Yes, and it's it happens to everyone, but I think you do reach a point in life where you can at least kind of quiet some of the voices a little bit and really listen to yourself and what you really want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel that being positive and being happy is your choice? Does that give you like, wow, you know, like an edge on someone who is miserable or not positive? In what way?
Yeah, okay. So not going too deep on this, but somebody like myself who my childhood was wrought with moving around a lot, homelessness, not knowing where food was gonna come from, instability. Right. You can either be somebody today who is constantly saying, well, I can't do that because I didn't know how to do that and no one taught me how to do this and da-da-da-da-da. Or I can say, that is my childhood. Now I'm an adult. Now I can actually make my own decisions. What a wonderful opportunity. Right. So I think, especially when you think about traumatic things you've endured as a kid, it's all thinking about, are you gonna dwell in that happened, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago? Or are you gonna recognize that as an individual now, you can make decisions.
Right. And make a difference.
And make a difference.
Right.
While as a kid, you know, a lot of those decisions are out of your hands. So that's what I try to
profess.
I do, yeah.
And you can tell you are so happy.
Yeah.
That's inspirational words.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself from here in the next 5 years?
Ooh, okay. I'll be in my mid-30s then. Okay.
How old are you now?
I am 29. Yes, I'm on the cusp.
You've lived a long life. You're so smart.
I would like to see the Arts Collective as like a self-sustaining nonprofit, like really have a great model that works, being able to impact people. I'd love to speak more and host more and talk more and just see the best way that I can influence others to change their lives around.
And you will.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you believe we're wrapping up?
No!
I know. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just thank you so much for the opportunity, the platform, and you are doing, this is an amazing thing that you're doing.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Krista
you.
Brown. I had to give you my traditional Godiva chocolate for the diva in you.
Yes!
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
and if
you.
anyone knows a phenomenal diva like Krista Brown, please don't forget my website at divas.us, massachusettswoman.org. Enjoy your summer, and I will see you soon. Thank you for watching Dacey's Divas.
Yay! Thank you.